It's Sunday, August 7th, 2022. Quick video today. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody's rested up. I want to talk about a few things on today's video. One of them is going to be this corporate stimulus package that has just been passed. I believe next week it goes to the House, then it goes to the President to be signed. I want to talk about this, and I want your opinions on this. But before we do, I just want to tell you a quick story. A couple days ago, we were driving up to a family member's house, and on the way, we passed a house that had 12 cars parked in the driveway. Obviously, people living at this house. Your typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, maybe 2,200 square feet, 12 cars at this house. And I am seeing more. I've been watching this take place for a couple years now, but it's increasing. Let me know if you're seeing the same thing in areas around you. But more and more people are living at the same home, maybe moving back in with parents, in-laws, getting roommates, family members, whatever the case may be. Are you noticing more people living together? I could not believe it. I have a friend who lives out here in the Coachella Valley, and he has 12 neighbors living in one house, 12 people living in one house. Now, I don't know how many people were living at this house. There was 12 cars, but my friend's house, his neighbors, he's got 12 neighbors in one house, and that house probably is under 2,000 square feet. So is this a sign of the times? Are you noticing this in your areas or your surrounding areas? I'm definitely noticing this quite a bit out here in Coachella Valley. It's not new. I've been watching it take place for years, but it's happening more and more. And what's happening more out here, and what's becoming very obvious, are the amount of people that are just driving off Interstate 10 right into the middle of the desert and just parking RVs. So you'll see 2, 3, 4 RVs, a couple cars, people living at RVs. I now have, literally less than a mile from my house here, I now have a small encampment forming. A few tents, and then a mile past that, if even a mile, there's 3 or 4 RVs that have been parked in one area by my house for over a month now. And as you head closer to the freeway, there's 2 RVs over there. And the more I drive down I-10, it seems like every week, I notice more and more RVs parked out in the middle of the desert. And I bring this up because I think that this is a lifestyle that is going to become more and more common, where people are moving back in with family, where people are going to be living in RVs. And when I look at this sweeping climate, health, and tax package that has just been passed, with an estimated price tag of $740 million, I say prepare for an inflation tidal wave. You're going to see now even more people moving in to homes with multiple people. You're going to see more RVs, more tent encampments, and you're going to see a lot more inflation. I'm not here to get political. I'm not taking any side. I really consider myself a political atheist. But we were just talking about this economically and the ramifications that more money printing, more debt, more borrowing, and more taxation, what it is going to produce right here in the U.S. It's going to produce more people having to work more jobs. And now we have more people working more jobs. We literally have less people in the labor force, but the people in the labor force are working more jobs. And that's how you get 528,000 payroll jobs in July, because you have people working multiple jobs. Is that because they want to? No, it's because they have to. Do you think people want to live in a house with 12 other people? No. Do you think people want to live in an RV in the middle of the desert? It was about 115 degrees yesterday. It's extremely hot and humid today. My heart goes out to people who are just being literally railroaded financially, economically, and just literally being forced into being debt slaves. A lot of people did the right thing, and they are being punished now because of this inflation, which inflation is a tax. Your taxes are about to go up according to this new package also, so get ready for that. But it's really getting much more difficult for them to hide what is happening to the economy and to the state of the average American consumer as household debt continues to explode, as we're going to see more inflation guaranteed now, and as people's standard of living is going to be decimated, middle class being decimated, the poor being decimated. And what do? We're going to print and borrow another $740 billion on top of all the money we're handing over to Eastern Ukraine and God knows where else across the world. We need help right here in America. The average American, the average consumer, the average human being right here needs help immediately. And they're not going to get it. What's going to happen is you're going to get pulverized now with what is about to happen. And remember, this money, when it gets into the system, we won't even see the repercussions of this inflation till probably a year or two from now. It takes a while to get into the system, so it's really a delayed effect when you begin to print and borrow this kind of money. It's going to be a delayed effect that we'll start to see in 2023 and 2024. So brace for impact, ladies and gentlemen. Inflation is not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, we're going to see more. Here's a question for all of you out there. Please, and I don't have the answer, so please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Markets open tomorrow. Is this going to be good for the markets? This $740 billion package. Will this be a positive for the markets or will it be a negative? I don't know because there's absolutely no fundamentals. What I do know is it's going to cause more inflation. And we have a Fed that seems as if it's going to get more and more aggressive with interest rates to fight the inflation. So I would think that this would be good for the markets, but in retrospect, it's going to cause more inflation, causing the Fed to raise rates even more. So I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below. Let's talk about really quickly here some of what this bill includes. This is just a little bit of it. $430 billion to combat climate change. Let me repeat that, $430 billion to combat climate change. 15% minimum tax on companies making $1 billion or more in income. This tax, as you know, is going to be passed on to you and I. Corporate America, these companies are not going to be paying a dime. You are. It's going to supercharge the IRS. I think they're going to hire another 70 or 80,000 agents to go after small businesses. Again, this is corporate stimulus, ladies and gentlemen, and really think about how this benefits corporate America when you have them weaponizing the IRS to go after small businesses, just like when everything had to close. It was all small businesses, but the big boys, the big Walmarts, the Burger Kings, the McDonald's, the Taco Bells, the Jack in the Boxes, all those stores and restaurants got to stay open, but the privateer or the small retailer had to close. But Target got to stay open. Costco got to stay open. But if you had a small business, a small store, a small restaurant, you closed while the McDonald's down the street was allowed to stay open. So I find it very, very dangerous when you begin to weaponize a group like the IRS to go after small businesses, looking at small business as the enemy, when the big businesses are going to benefit from this and wipe out their competition. Very, very scary. But this is the direction we're heading in, and all you can do is prepare the best that you can now. Supply shortages could mean delays in power restoration after storms. I was reading this on Fox Business this morning. Get this, basic essentials such as transformers are in short supply. Typically, they take 6 months to import. Why didn't this climate bill, why didn't this package give any of this money to creating business right here in America to build transformers? And how much of this money in this package is going to be completely robbed or wasted? I don't know why we're not building transformers in America. It's so important for our infrastructure. It's so important for the well-being and security of this country. But when you take into account hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, attacks, and aging infrastructure, we are not prepared for any of this. Could you imagine a cyber attack or some other type of attack that destroys our transformers, or natural type of event destroys transformers. And of course, just look at the infrastructure in all of our major cities. They're falling apart. The infrastructure is falling apart. We are not prepared for an emergency. We are not prepared for a day of reckoning here in America. So if we land up getting into a war, or God forbid some terrible attack happened here and we lose multiple transformers, you could be without power for months, maybe a year. Who knows? When you don't build anything here, we are more susceptible and we are more dependent on other countries. It's absolutely incredible. And when you talk about 6 months to import these things, just look, when we had 150 ships sitting off the West Coast here, we couldn't even unload a box of Legos. And we're talking about importing transformers. I mean, this system is so broken. And I think that people don't really understand or realize how weak we are as a nation right now and how susceptible we are right now. And if something happens, nobody is coming to save you, ladies and gentlemen. No department, no bank, no politician, no minister, nobody. You are on your own. And this is why you better be walking close to God. You better be saying your prayers every day. You better be acting as your own police force, your own central bank, and your own church, because you are going to be on your own. The transformer shortage is no doubt concerning. Why are we not boosting inventory right now in America? Why are we reliant on other countries? Comment down below. There was an interesting article this morning I was reading on CNBC, and it's titled, "Some Consumers Are Cutting Back on Restaurant Spending, but CEOs Say Not All Chains Are Affected." And one of these chains stood out to me, and it was Starbucks. What a surprise. They say that Starbucks isn't seeing big changes in consumer spending. And it makes me think that a lot of these people who literally, Starbucks is almost like a cult to some people, but the people that go there are the same people that write me and say, I don't have the money for an ounce of gold. I don't have the money for an ounce of silver. I don't have any money to save. And it's these people who go to Starbucks once or twice a day, pay $8 or $9 for a latte, who have no money saved up, no assets, and these are going to be the people knocking at your door, begging for help. The same people that right now cannot make a sacrifice, cannot even give up a simple cup of coffee in order to have a cash reserve, in order to buy assets, in order to prepare for what is coming. People do not want to give up the simple pleasures in life to prepare for what's coming down the road. And that is getting much closer, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are much closer to something very, very big happening than most of us want to believe. And after this whole Taiwan episode, which I now believe guarantees China is going to invade Taiwan, and I think now it has really expedited that invasion. What we were doing over there, I have no idea, but the end result is going to be very, very bad. And we just cannot keep our nose out of other people's businesses. And this is another reason of why we all must be preparing, because what's happening geopolitically and what's happening now with the uncertainty of war in all parts of the world. I'm watching what's happening in Israel today. We're watching what's happening in Ukraine. Now we're watching what's happening in Taiwan. We are living in a time where we could wake up tomorrow and be in shock with an event that just took place. And this is why I beg every one of you, I pray that every one of you continues to prepare and put the odds in your favor. If you're not doing this right now, you're so far behind. And I know people don't like me saying this, but it is already too late for so many people. People who are broke, people who don't have an income, people who don't have any money saved up. How are they going to survive? My best advice is pray to God, walk extremely close to God. That's all you can do right now. That's all you can do, at least spiritually. Get in better shape. Start praying to God immediately. That's all you can do. It costs absolutely nothing. Physically, get in better shape. That's all you can do. But financially, you're going to have big problems down the road here very shortly because we have so much uncertainty. The amount of money printing now that is taking place with rates going up as we go deeper into this recession. I think we're now in the beginning stages of a depression, but the average person can't even give up an $8 or $9 latte, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're going to be dealing with right here. This is why it's too late for so many people, because they can't make a simple sacrifice. You know, if you can't make a simple sacrifice today, how are you going to survive the tough times? And the tough times are coming. And some people out there right now are driving a nice car, living a nice zip code right now. They have no idea they're going to lose it all. They're going to lose it all. And I can tell you right now, I've had to give up a lot. I could live in a much nicer house. I could be going to a lot nicer places. I could be doing a lot of things. I could be making different types of videos. But I can't do that, okay? I cannot do that. Many of you know I'd love to do a car channel. I cannot do that because this is just too important, and this is where my passion is right now. If these were better times, I'd be making much more fun type car videos, but I can't do that because this to me is such a threat to all of you. It's a threat to the future of this country. It's a threat to this economy. It's a threat to our well-being. And this is why I warn all of you, put down the Starbucks, get out and get an extra side hustle, start stockpiling cash, go get some silver. This is what you need to do to put the odds in your favor. Put some food and water away, not Starbucks. Huge, huge mistake. I've been making the sacrifice for years now, and I know many of you have too. You could be living probably in a nicer house, a bigger house, driving a nicer car, driving a nicer truck, going on a nicer vacation, multiple vacations. We could all be doing this, but we chose to walk the walk. We chose to prepare years ago for what is coming. And anybody that doesn't see what is coming, I pray for you. I really do. Because you are so blind, you're so naive, you're so ignorant, and you've been so dumbed down. I feel sorry for you. But at some point, I can't feel sorry for you. I got to worry about me. The hedge today, Turkey agrees to pay for Russian gas with rubles. Here we go again. Best performing currency in the world, the ruble, is going to perform even better. And we're going to see more nations now continue to drop the dollar and go to alternative currencies and possible currencies backed by gold. Another article, I'm going to finish with this one. I thought it was pretty interesting. And this was on CNBC. From Mississippi to Kentucky, these are the 7 states with the least credit card debt. Median credit card debt. Mississippi, this is the median credit card debt for a cardholder. Mississippi, $1,806. Arkansas, $1,949. West Virginia, $1,860. Iowa, $2,083. Tennessee, $2,073. Kentucky, $1,857. And I looked up California. California, the average cardholder is over $7,000 in credit card debt. $7,000. You know, people told me, and many of you know, I will be moving to Alabama. Looking at properties right now, waiting for this bubble to burst. I would love to be in Kentucky tomorrow. Trust me, I cannot wait to get out of this state. And this state has got so many problems. I could talk about it for an hour, but then people will say, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just buy tomorrow? Well, if you want to send me money and have me buy a house in a bubble and have me overpay for a house in a bubble for a farm, I'll gladly do it. Send me the money, I'll do it. But when it's my money, I'm looking for the best possible deal, and I'm waiting for this real estate market to break apart, and I will be out of here. But if you want to send me the money, I'm happy to leave tomorrow, no problem. But if it is, as far as right now, it's my money and I have to look after my money and I need the best possible deal, I will not buy anything in a bubble. But again, if you want me to buy in a bubble, send me the money. But I'm moving to Alabama, and so far that's a state I really, really like. But, you know, people will go, JB, why are you moving to Alabama? People don't have any teeth there. They're not educated. Why are you going there? They're in bad health. And I go, have you seen California lately? Have you seen the amount of people in California that don't have teeth? I mean, we have a meth epidemic in California. Let me tell you, I've seen a lot more people in California without teeth than I did when I was in Alabama. I saw a lot more homeless. I saw one homeless person. I know there's plenty more homeless in Alabama, but I drove well over 1,000 miles the week I was in Alabama, probably about 1,500 miles through that through that whole state, back, forth, all around, 12 to 1,500 miles easily. I saw one homeless person. Now, I know there's more, and I'm sure they're, in maybe Montgomery and in the city of Birmingham and maybe Mobile in the city. Didn't really see many. I saw one in my drive through there. See a lot more daily here in California. So yeah, I see a lot more people in California without teeth. I see a lot more homeless here. And let me tell you, this is not the epitome of health any longer here in California. There's a lot of people. We have an obesity epidemic here in California, and it's all over the country. So California is not what it used to be. But I mention this because one difference I did see when I was in Alabama compared to California is a lot of people love flash here in California. They love to live big. They love to live off credit cards. They love car leases. People love car leases here because they can drive a car that they could never buy. And the average person in Alabama, when we were driving through Alabama, you didn't see a lot of Mercedes or BMW or Lexus. People drove a lot of Toyotas. They drove a lot of Nissans, Fords, and Chevys. They drove pickup trucks. They drove compacts. I saw a lot of Camrys and a lot of Sentras. And I saw a lot of older cars. I didn't see any exotic cars. Barely saw probably not more than 5 Mercedes, 5 BMWs the whole week I was there. And that's not a joke. Now, I'm sure there's areas where there's more. But the meaning of this is people there were not flashy. They weren't living over their heads. And when you look at the people down south and the median credit card debt per cardholder, it reflects that. So I thought that was very, very interesting. I know people that, make 80 grand a year, and they will rent a condo or an apartment down by the beach for $4,000 a month. So over half their income is just going to live and rent a condo by the beach. They're broke. They're leasing a car for $600-700 a month. I mean, they are broke. They are a flat tire away from big trouble. They are a dead battery away from big trouble. This is how a lot of people out here live. People out here, not all, there's some really good people here too, but California definitely has a reputation for people living way beyond their means, living off credit cards. And I've known a lot of people in my life out here doing the balance transfers, 14 credit cards, leasing cars to impress people they don't know, don't like, and don't care. And they went broke doing it. Many of these people end up broke. And we're going to see a lot of people going broke because they just have got to live this flamboyant lifestyle that they just cannot give up. They all want to be social media stars. They all want to be Kardashians. They all want to impress people. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. But this is going to be the cause of the end for a lot of people. Their lifestyle that they couldn't give up. This is going to be their end. This is going to be their end. So I'm going to leave it there today. I know I'm rambling, and I could probably ramble another hour with everything happening. Tomorrow and this week will be very, very interesting with this corporate stimulus package being signed. And we'll see if it's going to be good for the markets or bad for the markets. There's no fundamentals now. Nobody can guess now what these markets are going to do. But one thing I will guarantee you, it's going to be extremely, let me repeat, extremely. This package, this corporate stimulus package is going to be extremely bad for you and I. It's going to be extremely bad for the U.S. economy. Maybe it'll be great for the markets. It's going to be bad for the economy. God bless all of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. And, thank God tonight for blessing you. You really are blessed.